A great meeting point, convenient light meals, hot and cold beverages, or a quick snack on the go? What's your order for the day? We don't just say, we do. It's the Stain City way.
Good afternoon and welcome to Real Talk on SABC 3, where the stage is yours. So season after season, our topic for today sends fans' hearts racing, sometimes dangerously close to causing heart attacks. It has the capacity to leave fans devastated, wallowing in disappointment and ridicule. It is a global multi-billion-dollar industry that has turned talented and skilled individuals into heroes and franchises. But more than this, it also has the power to unite. I am, of course, talking about sport, and today we're unpacking some of the good and some of the challenging issues in the sporting fraternity. A little later in the show, I'll have the host of Metro Mpho's Women in Sports Sessions, Mpho Maboi, as well as Banyana Banyna assistant coach Maude Khumalo. So allow me to rewind the calendar a bit to two big moments in sport broadcasting history recently. After 19 years as one of the faces of SABC Sport, Walter Mokoena resigned. Even more shocking, before Walter walked, fans were stunned at the announcement that Robert Marawa would be leaving Metro FM and his seat as the host of the hugely popular 083 Sport at 6. The dust seems to have settled, and now a new era in sport at Metro has come with the revamped Ultimate Sports Show with Udo Carelse in the driver's seat. The man comes with over a dozen years of experience, having worked in both radio and TV in front of the camera, but also in production for numerous sports productions. So we'd like to welcome Udo to the show, who, first things first, what I'm going to ask you has got nothing to do with sport. Are you aging backwards?
In what way? Am I the curious case of Benjamin Button now?
You are the curious case of Udo Carelse. There is no ways that the last... I mean, every time I see you, you look younger than the last time.
God is good, man. God is good. You know what? I've always had a battle with weight. From the time that I had it on me. I was at primary school, my nickname was Porky.
Oh,
yeah?
Okay.
Went through school with that. I've always had a battle with weight. In fact, Mpho Maboi, I need to get back at it on radio. The first question she asked was about the weight. Over the last year, portion control, man.
Really?
Yeah, and 6 o'clock, cut off, done.
No more eating.
No pepper steak pies, no nothing. Done. So I think it just comes down to a bit of discipline.
But you know what they say, hey, the rounder you are, the less you age, because the fat cells cause elasticity.
These turgid fat cells.
So
okay.
You will never need serum because you know you're full of it. Those pies?
No, I'm going to need serum.
Packing here,
I'm going to need serum. I know what my eyes look like without a bit of makeup, bro. I'm going to need serum.
So when Mpho asked you about sport, was she saying, are you...
No, here's the thing. She didn't ask me about sport. It was like, hello, welcome to Metro. I know you've had an issue with weight. And I'm like,
wow.
First question. But you know what? You continued in that vein, so carry on.
So what I want to say is, when you're a sports anchor, now that we're speaking about weight, are you conscious of the fact that you're looking a little porky?
No. You look at 90% of the fans in South Africa. Sport is about the athletes and how they look.
Yeah.
But find a South African sports fan who doesn't feel that they own the team that they support. And then have a look at them. And then have a look at me. We are together.
You guys,
we're together.
Same WhatsApp group.
Pretty much.
Same WhatsApp group. So listen, when you hear that Robert is leaving, right? Do you like look at your phone and be like, do I make the call? Are they going to make the call? Do I make the call? Are they going to make the call?
No, you know, it's the one thing that a lot of people have been asking me about. I think Robert and I have the kind of friendship that goes back many, many years. It's not the first time that I'm stepping into a platform where he started. I was tweeting earlier today that I'm blessed that I had my roots thanks to a show called Was a Weekend many, many years ago. That Robert and Bra Fats and Nothemba, all of them started. And I and myself and Kolelwa Majeke were the last of the presenters before that show eventually ran its course. On to your question though, from the time that relationship, and it was a sad day, sad week for South African sport that the relationship ended. We've been in conversation with one another. We've been in talks with one another because for the longest while there were requests, as there have been with other people, to stand in on the show. And on principle at the time I was like, no. This is still somebody else's space.
When you officialize it.
There we go.
Then we'll talk.
When that space is authentically there, let's have a conversation. So from that time onwards, we've been in talks, and he sent me the most beautiful message the first day that I went on air.
Yeah.
To say that God works.
Yeah.
Your story, go and tell it. It's your time now. So I'm thankful for the friendships that I've had in this entire sort of month leading up to it. And I'm happy with the way that things have started, at least.
So I have the answer to the question I'm about to ask you, but I want you to answer it first. I read somewhere that you said that you're going to put your unique stamp to it, because obviously you don't want to go in and do a show that has always been done. And I find as broadcasters in South Africa, that's what happens. Like, someone leaves the show and you go in, and if they got there 3 in the morning, now you also want to get there 3 in the morning. And I feel like, no, do what works for you.
Absolutely.
So how's Udo bringing Udo to the game?
Look, thankfully, what is it, 20 years in radio.
Yeah.
The formative years are really spent in terms of developing some kind of on-air personality. Thank goodness for a place like YFM.
Yes.
You walk out of there with the skills and the experience and a personality, and that has kept me in stage for pretty much any other job that I've had. So I walk into studio with my personality. I walk into studio with my thoughts, with my views, and if I'm not putting that out on a daily basis, I'm not being authentic. If I'm falling into something that has been there, a structure that has been there, that has worked, has turned that show into the pinnacle of sports presenting in South Africa. If I'm just plugging in, it's not going to last long, because I can't do that on a regular basis. You're going to run out of
it's not my space. This other person
it's not the space that I created. So all I can do really, if you're asking me what am I bringing, my personality, my skills, my sense of what is important to the sports fan, and learning from the sports fans on a brand new platform for me as well, and merging that into one solid conversation 4 days a week.
I'll tell you what makes you a powerful broadcaster, in my eyes, is the fact that you can't be boxed, right? So talk radio, you're there.
Yeah.
Music radio, you're there. When it comes to sport, you don't have like, I can't look at Udo and be like, this is the sport he likes. If we're talking swimming, he's there. Hockey, he's there. Rugby, he's there. Soccer, he's there. You know, underwater basket making.
You know, Anele, it's fairly simple, and I put it on my and I hate social media, but you get involved in it. And my line is fairly simple. I'm a South African, I'm a broadcaster, and I'm a lover, a teller, and a questioner of the South African story. Irrespective of what it is, whether it's current affairs or sport or whatever. So I'm glad you say that. I hope long may that continue, that I'm not boxed as just the sports guy, because we live in a country with so many beautiful stories to tell.
Did the bosses from your old employer where I worked, did they tell you that when I fell pregnant, they asked me who should stand in for me for the 4 months, and I said you?
You are kidding. Come on, you are lying.
I promise
you. Really?
Ask Terry Falkman.
I am absolutely flattered that you would even think about it.
Because I was just, because we're cracking our minds, we're like, oh, what's going to happen? At which point they were like, no, why are you running around?
You're not just joking with me. You're not toying with my feelings.
I promise you, asked Terry Falkman. And then she was like, why are you falling pregnant? First of all, let's start.
Why is the pregnant woman not phoning me directly to say this is the plan?
So then I said to them, this is you. But then you were busy then at our sister station. Yeah. And they were like, no, please don't disrupt our flow there. Because it would mean that you'd have to do the drive show and then go right afterwards.
It was a very interesting period,
by the way. So they said, no, it can't. But I was like, well, then you guys can sing.
I'm absolutely flattered, man.
Which is why I came back early. Because they didn't want to.
I had no idea.
They didn't want to give me him. They didn't want to give me him. Listen, more with Udo after the break. A little later in the show, we welcome a lady who has successfully crafted her own brand in the world of sport. Also, 2017 G Sport Award nominee for Coach of the Year. We will be right back after the short break. And you with Real Talk, welcome back. We have the pleasure of chatting to Udo Carelse, host of the ultimate sports show on Metro FM. Udo certainly comes with the necessary background and experience, having enjoyed a successful career as a sports journalist, covering the 2015 IRB Rugby World Cup, the 2016 Rio Olympics, as well as the T20 Cricket World Cup. That's notwithstanding the 2014 nomination for SA Sports Journalist of the Year. So, you know, you grow up as a kid and you watch sporting games, right? And people are on the field. You're like, yo, 16 Valve, Dr. Khumalo, yo, Lucas Katebe, yo, Thabo Ngomeni. And then one day, you're in the same room as them. And you don't want to fan out because you don't want to look like you don't belong there, right?
Guy.
But I'm pretty sure there's a day when you're like, inside you're like, guy, I'm in the same room as you.
You know, I'm blessed to have had parents who taught me one thing, that people are people. Irrespective, right? So you go into life with that kind of philosophy, stand in a room of paupers or princes, it shouldn't matter. But there are times, and I'm not going to lie, I remember before, I didn't work in sport up until I moved up to Johannesburg. So I was working, studying, and then eventually made the move up to Joburg. And I remember going to one of my very first Bafana Bafana press conferences. And as a guy from Cape Town, the Joburg industry tells you very quickly, you must play it small, bruh. Yeah, we know what's happening here. And then you're standing in a room full of individuals, and now because of what you do on radio, are coming to you as if they know you. And for the last 20 years, you just play along with it.
I call it the industry nod.
That's exactly what it is. That is exactly
We're not sure.
what it
Have
is.
we met?
Yeah.
Have we not? Okay, I've seen you on TV. You've seen me on TV. So we've met.
And you touching blood, and you're
like,
up on the shoulders like you've known each other.
And then you like look at each other from across the room. You're like, yeah, sure,
All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So give me a specific person who you like.
I remember the first time that I was doing, that was a weekend show. And by the way, the wheel has come full circle because your other guest, your Maude, was one of the very first guests on Was a Weekend. Just by the way. But there was a surreal moment for me because in the space of 2 shows, Doc had come in to have a chat with us. Yeah. And who was bigger than Dr. Khumalo in those days?
No one.
And he didn't play that game because I'm Doc. Who are you? I don't listen to the radio station that you work on. But in having a conversation with him after the interview, as much as you're in awe of the man, you're sitting there having a proper conversation, and that to me was the surreal moment.
Yeah.
That was the absolutely surreal moment. And then the other moment on a show similar to that on Was a Weekend. I remember a couple of months prior to it, I was watching music videos on Studio Mix of a particular Kwaito artist by the name of Anele. And then lo and behold, Mike Tyson, and apparently, Anyway, so Mike Tyson then comes into the country, and she's grandstanding that he should not be allowed to fight. Lo and behold, that was one of the first guests that I had on that show as well. And I was like, wow, okay. The wheel really turns, and it's a blessed space to be in.
Didn't you marry her like twice?
That's why I raised the segue into that story. And not twice, by the way. Not twice, just once.
Oh, so the second time you guys just
People got it wrong. People got it wrong.
Why did you correct us?
Why do I need to chase you for the truth when it's your job to be telling the truth in the first place?
Sometimes I come on here and I'm like, I'm not gonna go into anything personal. And this was my plan.
Okay.
This was my plan today. I'm like, I'm not going into anything personal. We're just gonna talk sports. Now you out here bringing it up.
Did I take it there?
Okay. So how did you approach her?
Yeah. It's a moment that I will never ever forgive myself for. Are we talking about approaching or actually
No,
will you
court.
be?
Court.
Oh no, that was the easiest thing. I think we were like personalities and spirits.
Yeah.
So in the space that we found ourselves in, we kind of gravitated towards one another fairly easily.
Yeah.
And the conversation just flowed from day one. She's one of the easiest people in the world to talk to.
And okay, so which one is the difficult one? Because you said that was the easy one. What was the difficult thing about her?
Relationships are difficult.
Of course they are.
Relationships are difficult.
Of course they are. So how's your relationship now? You get along?
We don't go out of our way to speak to one another, but we chat. And I know when things are going good or bad, I will reach out to say, are you okay? Likewise, are you okay? But we live our own lives now, and I think as grown-ups, we've worked out a nice mix or balance in terms of being there for one another, not being there for one another.
I get you.
As naturally as it began, I think it's running its natural course now.
Okay, because I think if 2 individuals come together, then it makes sense. But if one of you was not their own person and trying to move into the other person, then
Absolutely.
you wouldn't have these still waters that you're enjoying now.
Amen.
So on that note, who's your go-to person, like your sounding board? Who makes you better at what you do?
I've got a couple of mates who are really good senior journalists, really good storytellers. And without having to touch base with them to say, Guy, listen out to what I'm doing, watch what I'm doing, that feedback will come. And I've always known that in order for you to up your game, deal with high-level skills in others, so that you're not speaking purely just straight up to peers, but people who can look at you critically and not try and build you falsely, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. Too many yes men around you.
No time, no time.
What can distract you?
But like in life.
Yeah. So for instance, if I'm like in high focus and like I'm doing radio and I'm doing TV, there can't be a boy in the picture because I'm going to get distracted.
Nah, look, I'm yet to learn. I'm 39 years old and I'm yet to learn that proper balance between work and personal life.
Yeah.
But that's a conversation for a different platform another day entirely.
Yeah.
But the one thing I know that I am is focused. If I know I need to get you from point A to point B, and we commence that relationship, we start that relationship, nothing distracts me. Oh. That's where the focus is.
Okay, so from word go, that's where your focus is, and then you like blinders on, I don't see anything on the side.
Not that you don't see anything on the side. You balance your life out, but in such a way that your focus remains sharp. Your goal, what you need to do,
like
what you've promised people to do in the workspace, make sure you do it. Because that's what you get paid for. That's how people judge your value. And that's all they're going to be able to judge you on. Absolutely. It is your currency. Word is bond.
I like where your currency is currently trading at, by the way.
Thank you very much.
Rand, dollar, Udo.
I want to be Bitcoin, bro. I want to be Bitcoin.
Listen, you can catch Udo on the Ultimate Sports Show on Metro FM, 6 p.m. Monday to Wednesdays, and then he's back on Friday to wrap things up. He'll be back a little bit later. After the break, it's all about the ladies in sports. Stay with us. And welcome back. The Ultimate Sports Show on Metro FM switches things up every Thursday as the reins get handed over to seasoned sports presenter and fanatic Mpho Maboi. Since 2009, Mpho has successfully carved out a name for herself in a field that is extremely male-dominated. She's a contributor on SABC 1, Mzansi's Insider, a regular face on SABC Sports. Plus, you can catch her weekday morning as part of the crew on Metro FM's Fresh Breakfast with DJ Fresh. Welcome back. Second time offender here. Parole, she got parole and then she defaulted and now she has to come back. Mpho Maboi.
What have I done?
Oh, back here. Do you know what I was thinking? I was listening to the song in my car and I'm driving. And it's Lil Wayne's Mr. Carter.
Oh, yes.
And there's a part where Lil Wayne goes, the next time you mention Pac, Biggie, and Jay-Z, don't forget Wizzy, baby.
Yeah.
And this is me coming into now. And I was like, hey, guys, Mara, Mpho Maboi. You know, the next time you mention Udo, Robert Marawa, or John Robbie, don't forget Mpho Maboi, baby.
I'm honored.
Because you like, babe, like Udai.
I'm honored.
Huh?
You know, in all honesty, I've never looked at myself in that category. I still think I'm getting there, but there's still a lot of work to do.
But I like that. I like that. And I was so concerned for you because when I first read the press release, I didn't see that Udo was going to be doing the other ones. I thought it was just you Monday to Friday. And I was like,
why were you concerned for me?
Because I'm like, now you must be awake from 4 in the morning until 9.
I know.
And then you go home and then you must come back in the evening.
But I did that for 2 months though. I did that for 2 months while Udo was talking about that transition period. Yeah. I did that for 2 months and it was quite trying.
Is that when you lost all the weight?
Are you trying to say I was stressed?
You know when you're stressed, you forget to eat.
No, actually, I've gotten very serious into boxing. In fact, during that 2 months, I did not once go to a boxing session.
Oh, really?
Which was really bad, and I felt bad. And the moment it ended, I was like, oh, called my trainer, can we get back into the ring, please?
So you say that you get a lot of emails from women who wanting to follow in your footsteps.
Yes.
And it's do you know what I find when people ask us for advice, especially when we are at conferences where we're talking, we always default to being inspirational and not being specific.
Yes.
So the reason I was like, guys, call Mpho because I wanted to be specific.
Yes.
If I want to be, you know, like Mpho Maboi, I don't want to be Mpho Maboi. There's only one Mpho Maboi.
Of course.
And look, Lord knows we can't do it as good as you. But if I want to be you, what must I be deliberate about?
Be deliberate in getting to know sport. Be deliberate in knowing the information. Don't just fan and don't just be a supporter, but try and get to know the information. Because at the end of the day, when you're in front of the camera, it's about the information. Because sadly, as a woman, people see you first, and the moment they stop seeing you, they want to hear what comes out of your mouth. And when what comes out of your mouth is not proper, then they start lashing at you. And the moment they lash at you, it's very hard to actually just try and backtrack.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean? As opposed to a man. A man can make a mistake, and Udo can make a mistake.
Yeah.
People are more forgiving. The moment I make a mistake, I am at liberty to trend because I made one mistake. Do you get what I mean? So unfortunately, as a woman, you are always on the back foot.
Yeah.
So try your level best to, you know, get your information as correct as you can.
Such a black parent, level best.
Yeah, no. Yeah, no. Yeah,
Short about it, it's tantamount.
It's tantamount to,
what you're doing.
to a crime. This
Tantamount
thing.
to a crime. You guys not closing the curtains. Like, Mom, easy, easy.
So, yeah.
So is it 360 for you, being on the Fresh Breakfast now, knowing full well that you started at YFM? With
It is. It is, especially with Fresh. It's just so weird. And now being with Udo, it's like, really though, guys.
You guys are like keeping each other.
We might as well just, you know, formulate another unrestricted breakfast there.
Yes.
With Udo doing the sport and me going back to traffic.
And what's I mean, there's nothing like growth, hey. There's nothing like, you know, becoming a mom. There's nothing like getting all those hours in. You know, all of you have grown in your own ways. How is it the same and how is it different?
It is the same in the sense that we still have that chemistry between us that kept us going all those years ago. But it is different in that now we're grown. Now we can have adult conversations and not feel like we're being pretentious. Because, you know, back in the day, it sort of felt like, why are you trying to be an adult? Whoa. Like
I know your business.
You know what I mean?
You.
So now it's okay. Now we have, you know, you've got Fresh, who's got his family. You've got me, who's now about to be a wife and is a mother.
About to be. Aren't you a wife already?
No. Why do people think I'm married? No, I'm not married. I'm still waiting for the lobola.
Yeah, so call it Clover Factory, my boy. Call it Clover Factory, please. Call it genuine leather. Clover Factory.
No, I'm not his wife yet.
Okay.
No, not yet.
2 kids. 1 kid.
Well, one biological,
Yes, but you guys
one
are
of
two
his,
as a family.
yes,
Okay,
yes.
great.
But I consider her my child.
You've always said that, and I like that about you. Okay, so you're about to be a wife, you're a mother, and it's easier to wake up in the morning now?
Not really.
Really?
I mean, waking up at 3 o'clock is not, you can't get used to that. You cannot get used to
like,
that.
Oh, you must be used to it now. It's 5 months. You're like,
No, that's a lie. Anyone who says they get used to waking up at 3 o'clock, they're lying to you.
You're like,
no.
Who gets used to Chinese torture, guys?
Dude, like the moment the alarm goes by, I'm not gonna lie. I think it helped that when we started on the breakfast show, the first thing we made a pact about is at least the first 100 days, no one take time off.
Oh, okay.
Although Somizi has broken it a good number of times.
Somizi is Somizi.
You know? But we made that pact that the first 100 days we're not gonna get time off, and it helped because I've had a couple of days when the alarm goes off, you're like, do I really have to?
And then you blame everyone else. You're like, who put this electric blanket on? Like, this is sabotage. Why must I go? Why can't I be a housewife?
So, yeah, and you can imagine when I had to do that and then later on come back and do the sports show as well. It was a vicious cycle.
And, you know, I've always said that I don't buy into the notion of, you know, pick a job you love and you'll never have to work a day in your life. And I'm like, guys, I love my job. But there are days when I'm like, yes, it's work.
I know.
So are you, because I mean, when you're doing those double shifts, at 3 in the afternoon, when people are like, oh, we're going out for drinks, you're like, I don't like my job.
Yes.
Did you ever get that?
Oh, yes. You have those moments where you're like, yeah, I wish I could go out with you and, you know, call in sick or something. But, you know, in this day and age of social media, you can never call in sick because there's always somebody who's going to post you somewhere. Then you must explain, oh, so your bed looks very colorful, eh? It has drinks and everything.
It looks like she's ducking cocktails.
You know? So, yeah, those moments, I did think, this work thing, this passion thing is just, it's asking a lot of me.
And have you ever been nervous to interview someone?
I think more often than not, I am nervous, no matter how much I know you. I always have nerves. I know when the Ultimate Sports Show started, I was having one hell of a day leading up to the day.
Really?
I was just so nervous. You know, you're always worried about disappointing people. You're always worried about getting that one question that everybody wants to know, but you just don't get to it, you know, because everything else happens. So is there anyone really? I think Jayjay Okocha.
Oh.
And I'll tell you why.
Oh, yeah, I was about to ask.
Because I've always had a crush on him till today. So he was, keep it together, keep it together, keep it together, keep it together. And in me trying to keep it together, the more I was blushing on air. and it was on television. And you know how the people in your ear who are laughing at you, and you are trying to keep it together, keep it together. Like, oh, hey, and the more they are saying, hey, you look like you're blushing, the more your cheeks get bigger. And it's like, oh my God.
And you're like, stop it.
Yes.
Oh my God.
So that's the one most difficult interview I've ever done in my life.
So and I mean, we are in the era of dreaming big.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
I think just many things that have happened in the past, say, 3 years for South Africans that makes us believe that, wow, we're amazing.
Yes.
Wow, this is us.
Yeah.
What's your, like...
I've always said I'd love to work for Kiss FM, which is very weird.
In LA?
Yeah. But now I'd love to work for ESPN, oddly enough. But not be based there. I'd love to be an African correspondent type of thing.
Yeah, that can definitely happen. Yeah. Also, Kiss can happen because their DJs are not great at all.
That's what I hear.
They're so mediocre.
Because when Trevor was on Fresh Breakfast, he was telling, he was like, dude, y'all can do this.
They are.
Yeah, he kind of killed my dreams a bit.
Babe, I'm sorry to also kill it. It's partly cloudy there.
Really?
If you want to go, then be a superstar. Yeah.
There's a chance, Moose.
I'm telling you now.
I'm leaving.
It's like, hey, yo, Home Affairs, I'm out. About that work visa, I'm gonna have to be out of here.
Yeah.
I'm sorry about it. Listen, Mpho Maboi isn't going away for long. Coming up next, a woman who had a passion for soccer and the discipline to work her way to playing for the ultimate first team of women in soccer in South Africa. It's all love today. It's all for the love of the game, rather. Please stick around. And welcome back to Real Talk on SABC 3. The stage is yours. When you grow up in a household where your mother was a soccer goalkeeper, your brother also played the game, chances are pretty high that you'll also get bitten by the disky bug too. This is exactly what happened with Maude Khumalo, who went on to play for Banyana Banyna from 2000 to 2004. These days, she fulfills more of a leadership role for the national team, having taken over as the assistant coach in November last year. And for this, she has been recognized and nominated by the G Sport Awards Coach of the Year for 2017. We'd like you to welcome into your homes Coach Maude Khumalo. Welcome.
Thank you. How are you, Anele?
I'm great. Wanna go socials?
Sure.
Listen, you are the typical soccer player I hate. Do you know why?
Why?
Yeah. Bracket.
That thing, sometimes I feel ashamed to walk on the streets because I feel like everyone is watching me.
Chong, as you were standing, I'm like, oh, lady, nice bracket, include brackets. Because really, is there a soccer player with Kiss Matol?
Yeah.
Are they there?
Yeah, but
so I thought I had a chance, Mos. Why did I not carry on?
They are there, serious.
You look like you don't want to name them.
No, I don't have to. But those one can run.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I want to go back to social movie.
Yeah.
Are you playing soccer in the streets? Do you pick it up because you're going to watch your mom be a goalkeeper or seeing your brother play and then you just jump in? How does it get into your system?
No, like basically like Mina, I've never seen my mom playing soccer. She just told me her upbringing and what she was doing. And then even when I met her friends, they used to tell me, hey, your mama used to be a good goalkeeper. And terrible terror. That's what her nickname was. So like at home, yeah, like I was raised in a family of 7 and I'm the only girl. So my brother used to go out and play soccer and my mom would bring me those dolls and those things and I'll get bored because why can't I go there? Yeah. So I had that thing of wanting to know more about soccer, special sports. But basically I started playing tennis.
Yes, I heard
Yes, I started playing tennis, then I went to play soccer, and then I did them both. Then there was a time whereby I have to decide what I wanted to do.
Why did you choose soccer?
Okay, tennis, I really loved tennis. Even now I have passion for it. But the reason why I left tennis is because of we didn't have much sponsors. And then I have to wait for like, equipment is very expensive. Yeah. So in soccer, we have those sponsors who buy us soccer boots, tracksuits. So I decided to go there in order not to have stress my family about buying me equipment at tennis. So that's when I decided to play soccer. I
believe tennis is the greatest game in the world.
Definitely.
It is my favorite sport to watch.
I love it.
So when you watch Serena, you're like, yes, when I could have taken you, yes. if I'd carried on, man, if I'd carried on, yo, you'd be number 2.
I used to call myself Martina Navratilova.
Martina Navratilova.
Yeah, but Steffi Graf was also my role model, especially in tennis.
Who was was she Spanish? Arantxa Sanchez Vicario.
Yeah, I know that one.
Steffi Graf's enemy.
Yes, enemy.
And she could only beat her in clay.
Yeah, even Andrea Gasse and who's that guy?
Sampras?
Yeah, my favorite, Pete Sampras.
Pete Sampras.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. John McEnroe. I know those.
That temper.
Yeah.
So you mentioned something about sponsorships, and this is
Yes.
what I was like, as soon as I heard you coming, I'm like, yeah. You know, we always constantly making a noise on the outside.
Yes.
You know, you guys are on the inside. On the outside, always like, why is women's sport not sponsored? Why is women's sport, nya, nya, nya? When you guys are there, is it something you guys are talking to each other about when you're warming up? Ah, guys, they got the sponsorships. Or are you just there like, listen, we're here to play the game, let's play the game, and the corporates can deal with corporate, we will deal with the game.
No, the thing is, the thing about my sponsors to sponsor the women's team, it's they want to have something in return, you understand, in a sense. So with women, especially now with the challenge that we don't have a PSL, we don't have anything like back then, the time we used to play, we used to be sponsored by a garage. You know, the guy has the money, things like that. So he just buy us equipment and transport, things like that. But in this stage now that we need to get paid, things like that, you know, so I think a problem in a sense with people, what's in it for us if we sponsor these people, so that's another challenge also.
So what is it in for? Let's say now, you know, corporate like Pick and Pay is like, yeah, we're going to give them money. What is it in for them?
I think for them, it's like, for example, like I sent this example about the Nike sponsor, you know, their brand gets to grow and then people get to know about the brand, things like that. Yeah. But for me, like it challenges now, like I think our sponsors, they are reluctant to come on board to sponsor women because of, I think the other thing, they don't have the understanding of how the women's football is being structured.
And it's not televised
exactly,
as much.
Yeah. We don't get that media as much. Because of, for example, like if Banyana Banyna is going to be playing, it won't be, we don't have that voice out there with like, hey, on this day, there's going to be this game, things like that. So it's a big challenge.
And as a coach, what was the transition like? I mean, now you're on the field and then you have to get off. I mean, if you're a singer, you're always a singer. Sometimes you go to a concert and you just start singing along. They're like, whoa, I get so bonalo. So when you're a coach, you're on the side. You know, what's the transition like?
I think I always have that in me, being a coach, because of, like, for example, I used to play for Soshanguve Ladies, a team, which was based in Kas. So every time when they bring a new player, like Anele is coming and then she's lacking there and there, they always put her in my side.
Oh, wow.
And then I always...
So you're a nurturer.
Yeah, they always... So I didn't understand that why the coaches always bring these players. I said, now this team, my team is going to be beaten every day. Then one time I went to the coach, I said, Coach Mar, just tell me one thing. Why you always bring new players to my team and you take the best one that side? I said, you know what, Maud, you've got passion and you're patient, you know, and then for you, it's not about winning, it's all about grooming other people and then working together as a team. So that's when I started realizing, oh, now I see. I think everything started there. So the reason why I went to from football to being a coach, I lost my job in 2013. I was a store manager in Total Sports. So
you lost your job Wednesday?
Passion, let's bulalayo.
Oh, Opies, you're missing work.
Yeah, I love football so much in the sense that I got an opportunity whereby SAFTA was announcing that we need to have women's coaches and they give us my courses for free or they're going to pay for us, something like that. I said, yo, this is an opportunity for me. So my boss didn't understand that. So and I said, I'm going to explain when I come back. I just left work. And then I said, no, I've got days, leave, things like that. But I followed the procedure, though.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't just leave.
Yeah. Switch the TV on. It's like,
No, she just said, I hope you know what you are doing. I said, I'll explain when I come back. You know. Then I went to the course and then I finished the B license in 2013. When I got back, then it was a huge thing that they're investigating. There was a fraud. There was this and that and that. Then I was like, oh, wow. Then they said, okay, no more, because of you went away without notifying us, this, then that, you fired. I said, okay, no problem.
And now you're here.
Yeah, now I'm like, you know.
Do you know what's funny? Because I know how the world works. You know Total Sport will be the sponsor of Banyana Banyna.
Yeah.
I know how the world works. The world will be like, you know what? This is more, this is a healing thing. I'm telling you.
Yeah,
I'm putting out into the universe. Watch. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
Look, good luck with everything. I know you're nominated. I know you are just, your star is on the rise. Thank you for your time. You're not going anywhere, though. She's staying here. It's almost time for us to wrap things up. After the break, Udo and Mpho will join Maude on the couch. You must stay with us. It's going to be fun. Hello again. As mentioned earlier, Mpho Maboi's Women in Sports session seeks to empower women in sport by providing them with a platform for mentorship and networking. Important questions still need to be asked around the prevailing issues and challenges that women in sports face. Take, for example, the fact that we have yet to establish a domestic league for women in the nation's main sports such as cricket, rugby, and football. We're chatting with Udo Carelse, Maude Khumalo, as well as Mpho Maboi today. Let's see what insights they can share with us. Now, the woman thing, for me, reminds me of the transformation thing, because it's all fun and games when we talk transformation until we have to talk about women. Do you find that it's a bit hypocritical?
It is a bit hypocritical because, as Maude was mentioning, the fact that you have people doing exactly the same thing, but for some reason we're treated differently. And she was mentioning the fact that you have women who are doing sport. I'll give you a perfect example. Wade van Niekerk, Caster Semenya, doing the exact same thing. Here's Wade van Niekerk. Everyone is clamoring to sponsor him. Not many people are hovering around Caster. Why?
You know I got into trouble for that.
Really?
Because I tweeted to the car brand that gave Wade that sports car. I was like, hey, yo, where's Caster's car? Hey, man, have you seen a snowball coming towards you?
Really?
Yeah, I got into major trouble for it. They're like, yeah. And this was before she won her gold or something like that.
Yeah.
And then she then matched him, right? The only thing she didn't do was not break the world record.
Yeah.
And then that's what they held on. She's like, well, Wade broke the world record. And I was like, yeah, but she's got more medals than him.
Yes.
And now it looks like I'm attacking Wade when I'm not. I'm just saying, where is Caster's car?
And it made sense because at the end of the day, they are literally on the same platform, doing the exact same thing. It might be in different races, but at the end of the day,
it's
they're doing the same thing.
It's the same code.
I feel you.
Udo,
Yeah.
as a man, are we just being a tea party here? Or do you agree?
I think there's an entire industry that needs to check itself, right? It's a chicken and egg scenario because the marketers, the broadcasters will tell you, well, actually, what's the return on investment for a particular tournament that's a women's tournament across television? Yet, we don't go back the 20, 30 years ago when the PSLs and the EPLs became brands originally. A marketer had to say, yo, we see the growth potential here. Let's put it out there. Let's see where it goes. So if you're going to continually keep the industry closed based on trends that are here today, you're never going to grow those sporting codes. So somebody needs to take the leap and say, you know what? Develop the league, put it on television. Let's put everything we can behind it, grow it, and see where we are in 5 years, in 10 years' time. Not a year, 2 years, and now because the league doesn't work, you say, we're never going to show it on television again.
And then you take
So the industry really needs to check itself on this.
And what I've always said that when it comes to that as well, to a certain level, because there's lots of women, right? If you just like women, if you guys want us to get sponsorships, you need to watch our games. You know, they need to see the ratings where you guys are tuning in to watch, right? So would you agree with that? Women need to support women in order for women to be financially and commercially successful?
Yeah, I do agree, because when I go back, like with the time we used to play in Banyana Banyna, there was this Sanlam sponsor. Sanlam used to make a lot of noise, and when we played, like people were coming to support us, you understand? And then that sponsor was a very big sponsor. I think they didn't expect anything in return. They just wanted to see the development of women's football going forward, things like that, and they will take it from there. So I think, yeah, we as women also, we need to support each other in order for us to get there.
Can I just add to that?
Please.
I mean, as much as we can all call out for women spectators to support women in sport, the powerful women in corporate as well need to literally sit up and say, okay, I'm in this powerful position. Instead of me going for a men's sport, let me support women in sport, because they are there, and without their support as well, we can't do much.
Just one thing though, I think we mustn't make excuses either, in terms of let's build fans in the stadium and then it became, no. We look at PSL matches right now. If it's not the top 3, top 4 teams playing against one another, clubs are buying branding to put in seats now, where spectators should be sitting so that they can get their brand out there. So let's not make those excuses either. If the product is good enough and the production values are high, you're going to create something entertaining, back it to the hilt, give it time, so that as it grows, you're going to grow your return on investment, but don't think you're going to get it back in 1 season, in 2 seasons' time. Do it because it's entertaining and it's the right thing to do. And what's the old saying? Build it and they will come.
True. Yeah, I wanted to say something whereby, like, Mpho mentioned something like, for example, me, like now I'm coaching a men's team instead of being more focused on the women's team and local. But the problem is the challenges that we have as female coaches. If you want to go and assist in the women's team, you find that the men are the owners of the team and they also want to coach the team and they are the ones who are running the team. So it's difficult for us as women to go and assist there because of, remember, I'm the coach, I'm also need to have a living out of it, you understand? Yeah. And when you go to the women's team, they won't pay you. You know, so because of they don't have that money because of they're running the teams out of their years. So that's another challenge. Hence now you find us like as coaches we going to the varsities and then coaching also in the men's team whereby you get something, you understand. So that's another challenge.
So he owns the team, he coaches the team,
yes,
and then he runs the team.
Definitely, yes.
It sounds very Tyler Perry to me, you know, like those Matia movies where he's the grandmother, he's the mother, he's the guy, he's the corporate guy. Like,
but it's true, Anele, serious, it's true. Because when you go to the playoffs, like Sasol playoffs, you find the guys there. Then when you find out, is this the coach? No, he's the owner of the team. And then what's going on? And we want to find out how many women are there. That woman is a manager.
And then it's like Jomo, they're like, who's the driver of the bus? Same guy. Who's the water boy? Same guy. Who's the team physician? Same guy. Do you know what? Before we play a game, you said something about women in corporate, right? Because they're very far detached from women in sport, and I don't get it. And you make such a good point, because as soon as there's a brand that wants to, you know, pump money into a woman's sphere, they go for fashion. Yes. You know, they just go for the typical, you know, it's shoes, it's makeup, it's nails, it's the same old thing. Yeah. I don't see why a cosmetics brand can't be sponsoring sport.
Exactly.
Because even if you're a sports player, when you come off the field and you shower and you put on your dress, you put lipstick on.
Yes. You're still a girl.
You're
you know, it's the saddest thing. I always say women in sport are at a bit of a disadvantage because you are not woman enough to be seen as a woman. You are not man enough to be seen as a man. So we're literally an island that doesn't really belong anywhere.
Doesn't get electricity.
Basically.
like, no power lines coming to you, Baba. Listen, I said I want to play a game. So the team have written these sports stars on here, ne? Yeah. So excuse us, there's no printer here, but you know, what must happen? Budget, you have to pay for this welfare job. Look at me looking luxurious, huh? So, boy, you're an idiot. So I'm gonna put these things, here onto my forehead so that you guys can see who the sports star is, and then you must describe them to me, and then I must guess to see how well I know my sports. Maybe one day I'll be there. Now I'm there. Ultimate at 6 by Anele. Talk about netball. That's all I know. Okay.
Golfer.
Go for it, Mpho.
Golfer.
Tiger Woods.
No, South African.
Nickname
Rory
Black Knight.
McIlroy.
No, South African.
Nickname the Black Knight.
The one that
He designed the golf course at Sun City.
Sun City.
Any else?
No.
Can replay?
Yes. Hey, that took a while.
I was gonna go to Jacques Nicholson. You're like, but we said South African. Oh, this team doesn't love me.
Zizou.
Think
headbutting.
Zinedine Zidane. Coach Real Madrid, Baba. Winning it all. Aziz Real Madrid.
In the context of this conversation, the best athlete from South Africa, irrespective of
Casta.
No,
Ultimate Cobra.
She goes like this. No, she goes like this and then she goes.
Yeah,
yes, the ultimate Cobra.
Double Cobra. We need taxis after.
Taxi, runner.
Zola Bad.
Yes. You're not bad. You're not bad.
I told you, I'm coming for your job. This ends at 6. I can be there now. Got a helicopter. I'm like, Mpho, lang.
Yeah, no, and the owner of this place can charter you nicely. Hey?
Give levels. Same WhatsApp group with Oprah. Same WhatsApp group. In closing, Udo, what is the most important thing for sports in South Africa right now?
Proper support, patience, and people, as I said earlier, doing what they get paid for at their level. Do it to the best of your ability. Then everybody who's coming up has the best chance of succeeding as well.
Yeah.
Mbo?
I just literally want to talk to the ladies. The pie is big enough for all of us. There is space to get in here. Just know your stuff and be passionate. Like, just know your stuff. Trust me. Don't get intimidated by the likes of Udo.
Do you find that with you guys, it's one woman at a time? Like, guys, come on.
But that's the thing. It doesn't have to be. And I'm liking the fact that there's so many of us right now. Because the pie is literally big enough for all of us.
Okay. Maude. Maude is such an old white woman name, by the way. Maude. I promise you, every time like I put on like in my head, I promise every time I put on like a what? It's Maude, Gertrude, Margaret,
Sarah.
Yeah, when I say, okay.
No, I'm gonna change my name to Nombuso now.
No need, Maude, but tell me.
Yeah, but
you walked into that.
Yeah. Okay, talk to me. Sports South Africa, what needs to happen for us right now? And like as a whole now, because I find that, yes, we speak about you as a woman in sport, but you're allowed to speak on behalf of everyone.
yeah, what I've observed, Mina, like especially everything needs to start in the development side. We neglected development and we focus in the end results. Because I've been all over the provinces, to be honest with you, it's really painful for me and then disappointing in a sense that there's no proper structure, especially when it comes to development in women and in men. So I think if we can focus there, because of, I mean, at the end of the day, we need to take that development and take it up there. That's the thing that we should focus on. You understand?
Because you're right. I always feel like, especially with rugby players, they're like, no, there's no development. I'm like, but guys, at Craven Week, there were so many black kids, and then the next thing, when we get to like varsity league and then ultimately the Springboks, I don't see
But
them.
Anele, the one thing that we haven't done in 20 odd years since 1994 is revamping and building infrastructure. If you're a black kid anywhere in South Africa right now and you want to achieve at the highest level, depending on the sporting code you're talking about, what needs to happen? You need to be pulled out of your community to become the best that you can be. Why aren't we building things in those communities?
Ooh, that hurt. Ginseng. Udo Mpho Maboi. Thank you for your time. A big thank you to my sporting guest, Udo Carelse Mpho Maboi, as well as Coach Maude Khumalo. We will see you next time. Thank you for your time.